When a genius is forced to face the darkness within, what
this
makes a man be
beautiful day.
praised as a genius and
for
at the
watching
same time
us.
condemned as a symbol of scandal? There aren't many names in Hollywood that divide people as strongly as Mel Gibson. In the eyes of millions, he is the immortal William Wallace of Braveheart, the brilliant director of The Passion of the Christ, the action star who defined the buddy cop genre with Lethal Weapon. But in the eyes of others, he is a man full of scandal, a hothead, an alcoholic entangled in abusive controversies, a star who is almost erased by Hollywood. So how can one man fall from dazzling heights into the depths of despair, then somehow climb back up again?
It gets harder every day.
The answer lies in Mel Gibson's own life,
I'm scared
a
of
journey
what's coming.
woven between brilliance and
And I
self-destruction,
I seek
faith
your
and
guidance.
failure, collapse and
Help
redemption.
me understand the path.
This
you
story
have
will
laid
walk you
before
through a poor but faith-filled childhood, a career path full of accidents that turned into opportunities, the peak of his career and the shadows that began to awaken, the storm of scandals that nearly destroyed him, a comeback so dramatic no one saw it coming, and finally, the role of faith in rebuilding a broken man. The roots, a shy boy in a big Catholic family. Mel Gibson was born in 1956 in Peekskill, New York, the sixth child in a family of
It's about
11
finding
children.
peace in the present
A traditional
and having
Catholic
hope for
family,
the future.
loud, chaotic, but full of discipline and faith. The turning point that forced the family to leave America.
I confess
When the
that my
Vietnam
faith
War broke
wavers.
out, his father, who was already injured
Sorry
and
for the
unable to
burden
work,
I have played upon
feared
them.
his sons would be
Please
drafted.
forgive me.
His solution:
Guide me
move the
on
entire
this
family to
path.
Australia.
I need
It was a bold and risky decision, but it changed Mel Gibson's destiny forever. Mel, a shy boy, no one thought would become a star. At school, Mel was the complete opposite of the strong, confident image we know today: shy, awkward, lacking confidence. But his sister saw what no one else did: his acting talent. She enrolled him in the National Institute of Dramatic Art without Mel even knowing. And from that moment, destiny started to shake. The road to fame, from fistfights to iconic roles. The young man who walked into an audition with a bruised face. The night before his drama school audition, Mel got drunk and got into a fight. He showed up the next day with his face bruised, looking like he had just fought the whole world. But then something unexpected happened. The panel liked that roughness. They saw in him what Hollywood would later call raw authenticity.
I want to be a better father,
Mel got in.
a better husband,
Mad Max,
and a better man.
from nobody to cinema icon. A few years later, his first big opportunity came. And once again, Mel got into a fight before the audition. But this time, the director told him, "Come back when your face has healed." Weeks later, Mel walked back in, clean-cut, calm,
Audio is
and strikingly
characterized by the
handsome.
gentle rustling of tall
And that's when he
prairie
became
grass
Mad
and
Max.
the sounds of footsteps.
The film grossed over $100 million. Mel went from a nobody to a global star. Lethal Weapon, Hollywood belonged to him. His role as Martin Riggs, the crazy, emotionally broken cop, did several things. Changed Hollywood, redefined the action genre, turned Mel into the #1 superstar. Riggs was a multi-dimensional character. Funny, unhinged, wounded, strong, all mixed into one. And Mel didn't just play the role, he became it. The great peak Braveheart and the legend of Mel Gibson. When a rebel picks up the camera, Hollywood was skeptical. An action actor directing, and a huge historical epic on top of that.
Heal my heart.
But Mel answered them
Give me the
with
strength to
Braveheart,
move forward
a
from
cinematic masterpiece.
Thank you for bringing me
Braveheart didn't just win Best Picture, Best Director 5 Oscars.
for this quiet.
It also became a cultural icon. William Wallace's cry of freedom became a shout that echoed across the world. Braveheart wasn't just a movie, it was a fire. The second peak, the Passion of the Christ and a cultural earthquake. Mel entered the most faith-driven phase of his life. He put $30 million of his own money into a film that every studio rejected, The Passion of the Christ. A Mission Impossible film shot in Aramaic, Latin, and Hebrew. So violent that many people had to walk out of the theater, focused solely on the final 12 hours of Jesus' life. But Mel believed this was a sacred mission. The result: A cultural explosion grossed $600 million worldwide, became the highest-grossing R-rated film in history at the time. Shook the religious world globally, Pope John Paul II was reported to have said, "It is as it was." Despite all the controversy, the film placed Mel among the most influential directors in the world. When darkness strikes, scandals, alcohol, rage, and collapse. When a genius starts to self-destruct.
For this moment of peace.
In 2006, Mel was arrested for DUI in Malibu. In his drunken state, he made offensive comments that ignited global
I
outrage.
ask for wisdom.
Hollywood responded immediately. Contracts were cut. He was blacklisted. Every door slammed shut. Many people said Mel's career was finished. A decade in the shadows. Along with that came a divorce costing hundreds of millions. Angry phone calls leaked to the public. Non-stop attacks from the media. Mel Gibson fell from the heights of the world and became a symbol of moral downfall. Resurrection, Hacksaw Ridge, and the comeback. Nobody expected. Hollywood said no, but faith said, keep going. For nearly 10 years, Mel was considered a disgraced outcast. No one wanted to work with him. No one dared to let him direct again. But he didn't give up. Hacksaw Ridge, a comeback that brought the world to its feet. The story of Desmond Doss, a soldier who refused to carry a gun, yet saved 75 men, was the perfect mirror of Mel's own spiritual journey. When the film was released, a 10-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival 6. Oscar nominations, Mel received a Best Director nomination for the first time in 20 years. Hollywood was forced to admit, a genius can fall, but cannot be buried. Legacy, a man who isn't perfect, but refuses to stay down.
Please forgive me.
Today, Mel Gibson has returned to acting, takes part in independent and character-driven projects, stands stronger in his faith, works harder than ever. He is preparing to direct Lethal Weapon 5, bring the passion of the Christ resurrection to the screen. One of the most anticipated religious films in history. Mel Gibson is no longer the flawless hero. He is a human being, full of flaws, but full of resilience.
I am grateful.
The lesson from Mel Gibson, even after falling, we can still rise. Mel Gibson's life shows us talent does not protect us from making mistakes. Mistakes do not have to end our story. Faith and perseverance can rebuild what seemed completely shattered. Mel is living proof that no one is too sinful to be forgiven. No one is too weak to stand back up. No one is defined by their fall, only by how they rise afterward. In your opinion, what matters more in a person's journey? Talent, fame, or the ability to rise again after failure? And why? Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this turbulent, dramatic life story?